What's up guys, welcome back to the Talaria Boys channel. It has been a while since we filmed a video. Me and Reed went on vacation, and then when I got home, I immediately got a nasty cold. I'm still recovering, I sound a little bit funny, but today we're gonna be comparing an Eride SR to an Eride Pro SS 3.0. A lot of you guys are considering buying one of these two bikes and you wanna know the differences. Kind of gets interesting here because both the bikes share a ton of different components, but there's a few key, main, huge changes that you guys need to be aware of, and we're just gonna dive right into it. To talk about pricing first, this bike comes in at $5,000. This is the 3.0 model. The SR comes in at $5,600, so there is a $600 difference between the two. And now I'm gonna just dive right in and list off everything that is the same on each bike. There are so many things that are the same between the bikes that I actually had to make a list. I'm gonna start off with the brakes. They're identical, lever and caliper on both bikes. The light, this light bar is the same. The handlebar is the same. The bar mount, direct mount stem here is the same. The stem lock that actually locks your headset in place is the same. The wheels are the same, albeit with different tires. Then we've got the chains are the same, the motor is the same, the skid plates are the same, the pegs are the same, the throttle is the same, including with the park button and the headlight switch built in. The display is the same, the chain guard is the same, this plastic piece back here, and the kickstand is the same. Number plate's the same suspension as well, front and back, same fork and shock, same brake rotors, so there's a lot. All right, we talked about the things that are the same, so what is different about the bikes? Well, we have the tires. Here's the front tires. One is basically a dual sport setup on the Eride 3.0. It's gonna be great for street and great for off-road, but not perfect at either one. And then the SR has just really dirt specific tires. They're a lot more aggressive, more knobby for off-road scenarios, riding track, riding dirt, single track trails, stuff like that. So tires are an easy thing to change though. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep these tires. If you want an SR, you can obviously put these tires on it because they're the same wheels, or you could put big aggressive off-road tires on your 3.0 if you want. Other things that are similar but different would be the batteries. They are both a 72 volt 50 amp hour, so it's the same capacity, therefore should give you the same amount of range if you are riding the bikes at the same power level and same rider weight and things like that. But the SR battery is actually different, it has different cells and different internals that make it heavier. The SR's battery is actually about 9 pounds heavier. This battery is 49 pounds versus 40 pounds on the Eride 3.0. And so that does make the SR heavier. 9 pounds is quite a lot and quite a lot of weight right in kind of the center of the bike. You do notice that, and we'll talk about that later in the video. So we've got range, we've got battery size. What about motors? These motors are actually the same, but the controller that is powering these motors and getting power from the battery are different. So the Eride 3.0 has a 16 kilowatt setup on the bike. It's got eco mode and sport mode, two different drive modes that'll have two different power levels. The Eride SR has a much more powerful and more torque from its controller. It is running peak power of 25 kilowatts. So that's 9 kilowatts more than the 3.0. But let me just be frank here. 3.0 is still incredibly fast. It still does 60 miles an hour, and it might have plenty of power for you as a rider. So you may not necessarily need the 25 kilowatts that the SR has to offer. The other awesome thing about the SR though is you do get an app. So you can actually connect Bluetooth to this bike. You can change the power output, the torque, and you can add an RPM limit to the different modes. So if you want your eco mode to only go 15 miles an hour, or if you want sport to top out at 50 instead of its actual top speed, you can set those things within the app. You can also disable your brake sensors, your kickstand sensor, you can do your tip over sensor. There's a lot of helpful things with the app. Although I will say the app doesn't really seem like a finished product. It does still have some glitches. It isn't perfect. And I do wish there was quite a bit more tuning that could be done to this bike. So stay tuned. I'm hoping that Eride continues to add more features to the app, but it's obviously better to have an app on the SR than not have one on the 3.0. One other thing that the upgraded controller on the SR adds is a few more features up on the handlebar here. We now have a thumb regen brake lever, so this is variable regen. We can also toggle with this button here our regen levels up and down. And then this controller has 3 drive modes versus the 2 on the 3.0. So you have Eco, Sport, and Race that again you can customize within the app. You still have the park button on the throttle as well as the headlight button. That's gonna be the exact same as the 3.0. I already talked about weight a little bit by mentioning that the battery is heavier. On our hanging scale, weighing both of these bikes individually, the SR comes in at about 15 pounds heavier than the 3.0, which is a noticeable weight difference. And with a lot of the weight being right here under the main part of the frame, kind of in the front, in my opinion, it makes the bike feel really front heavy. And also with this large, tall moto tire on the back, it does feel like you're kind of leaning forward more and the weight is kind of there. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you are a smaller, lighter rider, I'm just gonna say that you might have more fun riding a 3.0 being lighter, and I think that the balance point geometry-wise and spread of the weight feels better. So with that being said, there's a $600 price difference. In the grand scheme of e-motos, $600 is very small when it comes to upgrades and modifications that involve power or performance upgrades. So let's think about this for a second. This bike has 16 kilowatts, this bike has 25 kilowatts. To make a 3.0 have 25 kilowatts, it's definitely possible. There are upgrades that you can do. You can add an upgraded controller and an upgraded battery to this bike to get it to the level of performance this has, but it's gonna cost you in the neck of at least $3,000 to be able to do that. You could keep your stock motor. This motor can easily handle the power that this bike pushes, but that's kind of what it comes down to. Is 16 kilowatts a lot of power? Absolutely. Does this bike do 60 miles an hour? Yes, and it's super fast. It has a ton of torque, and it's got plenty of power for the majority of riders out there. However, if you are a guy that always wants the most power and wants to be able to go as fast as possible, the SR is for you. But that comes at a price of more expensive and more weight. And I think in a way, the geometry just doesn't feel quite as good. It kind of loses the fun factor a little bit. The way our bike came when we got it, we did not like the feel of the throttle no matter how hard we tried to tune it and customize it within the app. We just received today a package from Eride Pro so that we can actually go in and tune our bike with some new tunes that they've developed. I'm sure that they're adding these tunes to the bikes that are shipping out right now, so we're really excited to try that. We haven't been able to yet. We literally opened the package 15 minutes ago. So we're excited for that. It's Lance from the future with the SR behind me, and I have exciting news. We flashed the bike, we updated the firmware on the throttle tune, and now it feels perfect. I love the feel of it in Eco, Sport, and Race. They absolutely crushed it. So that no longer applies. The throttle is now fixed, feels amazing. Back to the video. But those are the main differences between the 3.0 and the SR. Both bikes at the end of the day are awesome bikes, extremely powerful, in my opinion, extremely good bang for your buck. They have good suspension, good brakes. A lot of the stuff is similar, which is nice because there'll be more replacement parts out in the world than having a bike that's completely one-off. So with that being said, if you guys are interested in purchasing an Eride Pro, check the link down in the video description. Both of these models are pretty sweet and they're gonna get you out riding. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If there's anything I missed or if you guys have any questions, drop a comment. We answer every single one. We really appreciate you guys' support and watching our videos. As always, if you guys enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button and we'll catch you next video. See ya. If you enjoyed it, as always, hit that subscribe button and we'll catch us. You'll catch us next video. Huh? I haven't filmed in a long time. I'm losing my mind here. See you guys.